We're gonna take a new shot at a series. If people don't like it, then we won't make another one. But I noticed a lot of the guides out there on how to play campaign or whatever feature a lot of cheese, and that's just not how I like to play campaign. Like watching Legend of Total War, and there's a lot of cheese and AI exploits. I just generally don't enjoy that. But I do know some people. One of my friends recently got the game, and he had a lot of questions for me for how to get started, and he kept having troubles starting off his campaigns not on the easiest difficulty, and what to do with army compositions. So we're gonna do a setup guide here for the Empire, a very popular faction. But if you're struggling and you don't feel like cheesing or breaking the game, here's how you can get a good start. As we load in, I'm not really going to go through the Empire mechanics too in depth. That's a different kind of video, and honestly not something I care about. I just load up the Empire and play. Shut up, Franz! All right. Looking at overall strategy as soon as you start, what's going to happen almost every time? Now, maybe this will change in future patches, but you'll have two problems. This is all going to go to hell. This is all going to go to hell. Every time. Every time you'll have vampires coming up, and you'll have Wolfric coming down. You'll have these goblins that usually beat up on Midland. Kazric One Eye's in here, so the Beastmen are going to beat them up. It's just a bad time. The Empire, the only mechanic you really need to know is that you get buffs. The more of the Empire's territory, that's this whole circle, is under Imperial control. Not just you, but any Imperial faction. And the worse it is, the less you get. Marienburg's a bit of a turd. Sometimes I go over here and beat them up because I want their ports, but the ports need a lot of investment to get real money out of them, and taking out a pseudo-ally / neutral faction when I'm surrounded by bad guys often comes back to haunt me. So most of your campaigns, you have a choice to make. Do you go north or do you go south? Either's fine. If you want to go fight undead, go south. If you want to fight Beastmen and Norska, go north. Those are the two real options you have. You can go west, and you'll fight Grom the Paunch usually. You might fight some goblins up in here, or you'll fight Heinrich Kemmler. But, I don't know. It's just not as likely, because then you're going to get attacked from behind almost every time. So usually just go north or south, depending on who you want to fight. Obviously, turn one, you can just take out the rebels like you can every campaign. Just auto-resolve this fight. It's not really worth your time. Bam. Kill them. They are a human faction. You can get some replenishment, but you usually don't need it. But again, 238 gold really is pretty bad as well, so just take the captives, it's fine. A lot of your early army isn't worth getting experience on because they're all going to be garbage and die eventually, or you're going to upgrade away from them, so it doesn't really matter. Bronze, I always get Route Marcher, just so I can cover more ground, get more places I need to be, and you can take Grunberg, turn one. Pyrrhic Victory. Honestly, like, again, we're making a non-cheese guide or whatever. You can fight this if you want to. You're just fighting some piss-poor state troops, and I honestly find it pretty boring. So I usually just auto-resolve that and call it a day. Loot and occupy? No, just occupy. Yes. All right. We took a place. We got a crap ton of money. Let's do this. Grunberg has a growth unit. Building. What you want right away. Look through all that garbage. Franz is now tier 3. Old line is solid. Also making him a better duelist is solid. I usually go with hold the line nice and early. And then for Altdorf, we want to get it upgraded as quick as possible. Franz, you're going to be here for a little bit, regenerating, because what we did to you in the early game, and I wanted to get rid of some of those units so I could just get Spearmen with Shields. That's all I want. 3 turns of Spearmen with Shields, and then I have a 2-turn global recruitment. Get some archers. Yeah, that's fine. You can see that in the local recruitment, they are the same cost, but in the global, the archers are cheaper. That's why I'm using the global on the archers. Now let's make a plan. For Altdorf, if we look at the building browser, for the Empire campaign, you need mobility as soon as possible. You already have access to your most effective state troops in the tier 1 barracks building, or even just honestly in your provincial capital, you have spearmen. That's all you need. Upgrading to halberdiers is pointless, so is great swords. You might say, but they're better. They are better, but they're not what you need to be spending your money in early game time on. You need Empire Knights as quickly as possible, or Pistoliers, or Mortars. Those are really your 3 options. You need either melee mobility, ranged mobility, or artillery. Better state troops, you're just going to get outclassed by everyone around you. The Beastmen have better melee units than you do. The Vampires definitely have better melee units than you do. And then Norska or the Warriors of Chaos, if Festus the Leech Lord gets down here, they have better melee units than you. You're surrounded by people who are way better in melee than you are. Getting great swords isn't really that great for you. So prioritize getting cavalry usually. Oh yeah, we have a thing. I always just throw this on control and then leave it alone. Growth is okay, but you're just not going to have the resources to put into this fort, so if you want to, you can do growth. Or host Festag, either's fine, but I do like the trade tariffs faction-wide from just having a fort. Anyway, first 3 turns are set, see you on the other side. Alright, so we're at turn 3. We can finally get access to some of our better buildings. So I need Empire Knights. I know I need Empire Knights. And looking around, I got a wizard in one of the end turns. I think just the second turn you always get a wizard. So, didn't need that building just yet. So I already got my Empire Knights. Barracks is still there. Now we can make some decisions. I honestly skipped the money buildings on Altdorf. I'll later need the building slots for more important buildings when I get into the hyper late game. And honestly, I just haven't noticed like 250 gold generation being super worth it on my capital. Better to keep these to unit slots. So we can get handgunners and outriders. We can get pistoliers and free company militia. If you're going north, those units aren't very good against greenskins and beastmen, because greenskins and beastmen are usually either a horde of infantry that pistoliers can't do much damage to, or beastmen have like minotaurs and centaurs that'll just run them down. I think those units are better if you're going to go south. So this is where you kind of make a decision. If you're going to go north, you probably want war wagons and mortars. So you probably want the artillery version of this building. If you're going to go south, you can get the more kiting units like the outriders, pistoliers, free company militia. Those are all better versus the undead, in my opinion. You can also get the clay pit for some trading, but again, right now you need unit diversity more than anything else. Don't get the flagellants, it's a bait. Shrine of Sigmar is a big bait, don't do that. It's pretty bad. Flagellants are quite terrible versus a lot of things you're going to be fighting. The Empire just can't outgrind anybody around them for the most part. And then the Warrior Priest is a fine hero, but honestly you can just, at any point in time, if you really want that, you can just recruit the Archlector Lord, who's the exact same. It's not like you're losing out on any unit diversity by not taking that building, so I'm going to go with the mortars because I intend to head north. Not that that matters too much at this immediate moment. Usually, the rebels will come and try and meet you in the second city, or they'll go for Altdorf like idiots, and you can just ignore them. If they want to siege the city, they can. If they attack it right away, you'll just win the siege. And if they don't attack it right away, then Franz can run up and beat them. But you do want them to enter a settlement so they can't retreat from you. He's marched, he's already tired, he's in the city, he's trapped. This one I could just auto-resolve it, but we've been doing a lot of auto-resolving, so let's actually get into a battle and show you how to do this. All right. This battle, we have everything they have, but we just have it slightly better. But in general, your Empire formation is going to want to go something like this. Spearmen in the front line, make them as wide as possible, because then you'll have more models making contact with other models. That provides you get more damage back, but also controls space. Your spearmen are more meant to here to create a wall for you to hide behind. And we can make a second tier of spearmen and the Carroburg Greatswords. Carroburg Greatswords are actually fantastic against what the other Empire has, but I'm going to put the spearmen in front just for now. Especially while that mortar is active, but then they also have handgunners that I don't really want to be on the front line for, so we'll let our spearmen take that damage. Put a mortar in the middle. Archers on the secondary. Secondary just being behind my spearmen. And then we'll do handgunners in box formation on the back. Why are they in the back? Well, they can't shoot over our own spearmen front line. They're not tall enough. See, if I put them right here, can't see anything. Archers can. Archers fire up and over, and then their arrows come back down. Handgunners are a straight shot. The handgunners are going to have to shoot at single entities or Empire Knights, which he does have one Empire Knight. So if that Empire Knight gets in my backline, both handgunners can turn and shoot at it and kill it, even if it's fighting my archers. The main reason we were talking about earlier that I don't prioritize getting handgunners is because until way later in the campaign, when there's going to be a lot of tall units that you can see over your guys, handgunners actually have incredibly limited visibility and can't do a whole lot. So in the early game, when a lot of factions are spamming infantry, handgunners are actually kind of trash. They'll be useful later, but for now, let's just keep them alive, right? I like to make control groups in increasing importance. So Karl Franz, then this fireball caster, then my Reichsguard, then my mortars, and everything else. Don't care about anything else. If you're having issues with your guys wandering off, throw on guard mode. Guard mode makes sure that after a target leaves their range, they do not pursue it. They will stand where they are. The battle has started. Now I'm attacking, so I must move forward. If you wonder how I just did that, select all your formation, then hold down your left alt and left click and drag, and you can move your formation wherever. Fine. Actually, I do take debuffs, so I don't want my cavalry to go through trees and attack. I want them to be out in the open and attack, so I am gonna rotate around here. But objective 1 is shut down that mortar. Now, the tempting to just shoot it with your mortar, like mortar versus mortar violence. Your mortar's not gonna do very well at that. It's not really the preferred target, so if he's shooting your infantry and you're shooting his mortar, you're never gonna kill his mortar, and he is gonna kill your infantry. He did have one great sword troop somewhere. They're hidden in the woods right now. Great. Guess I'll shoot at handgunners. Now, you might be like, well, you just said handgunners are trash this early, and yet you're worried about his handgunners. Yeah, because I actually give a crap about my Reichsguard. I don't want my Reichsguard to die. I'm going to cast Fireball on cooldown with those Empire Knights so I can get uncontested mobility access into this game. It looks like he's just going to play crazy defensive, so we're going to move up. If I keep my eyes on that one Empire Knight, I know nothing else in this roster can get back here to harass my mortar, so I don't have to worry about, like, what if there's something hidden? There isn't. It's the Empire, not the Beastmen. We're going to charge. While our units are moving forward, we're going to give them various attack orders to get them into combat without a lot of stalling and our units just standing around doing nothing, so we'll give everybody attack orders. I am going to send those spearmen. I want these guys to go in between so my Carberg greatswords can get into melee over here, far away from the crossbows and handgunners and stuff. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Alright, this AI guy is just being kind of a doof. I want to give attack orders while I'm already moving, so my whole formation stays generally together and hits at the same time, so I don't get isolated, and it's just awkward and cringe. His Empire Knights are taking a stupid fight. They should not be doing that. We will hit them with a bunch of handgunners. He might kill one archer. It's pretty whatever. I don't really want to shoot into the trees. Trees are not my friend. You can see now this is what handgunners are supposed to do. That Empire Knight, which is very expensive, just ran downhill into my cheap archers, and now it's going to get shot all the way out by handgunners. Takes it down to half HP. It is getting away. Nope. Okay. It wasn't going after my Reichsguard Knights. It looked like it might have been, but didn't end up doing it, which is fine. I just don't want... I don't want my Reichsguard to get in a prolonged fight with the Empire Knights. That's really not what they need to be doing. I need them to kill the handgunners, and then kill the handgunners. They're safe. And then kill everything else. This cavalry is super important. Carberg greatswords are having issues getting into combat. But we are killing some of these handgunners. Let's get up and away because we have some spearmen coming uphill into us. We're going to charge these mortars just so they stop shooting all my dudes. Handgunners have officially taken out those Empire Knights. I'm going to try and break this one spearman over here. Throw a fireball because I have the Winds of Magic uphill. And the mortars are knocked off their mounts. You can tell because when you click on them, their model count goes from 4 to 44, meaning now it is counting the infantry and not the mortar. So the mortar is offline. I don't care about it anymore. Downhill charge into their range units. We're messing them up. That is the main point, is just knock out the ranged units, knock out their mobility, get them down to just infantry, and then the mortar can handle it, or the Carberg greatswords can grind through infinite amounts of guys. Bronze is a little overextended. I'll have my mortar try and help him out a bit. Reichsguard still fighting in the woods, trying to take out these crossmen and all this stuff while avoiding the spearmen as best as possible. They're not halberdiers, they're not armor-piercing anti-large or anything I have to be crazy concerned about, but damage is damage and I don't really want it. Now remember that we waited till these guys were in a settlement to take the fight with them. That is so when they retreat, I don't have to bother chasing them down because I don't want to. Sometimes you have to do it, I don't want to. Trying to get my Reichsguard away from these spearmen. You can see whenever I hit spacebar, I see these little green triangles. Even in the darkness, I can tell those are my Reichsguard Knights, and that they still have models stuck in these various crossbowmen. So we're just trying to get away. One of my crossbows is stuck. Handgunners are now having increasing difficulty shooting real targets, but I will have them just shoot at whatever they can happen to find. Carberg greatswords won their fight. We're going to creep around the back with them. These Reichsguard need to downhill charge, partially just to get me further separation from my sins. But, yeah, I just want to get out of this area. The Carberg greatswords move up. But now there's handgunners up there. That's cringe. Heavy cav downhill charging will get a lot of damage out onto these spearmen. Nice, a third HP. No, back off. We don't want to stay in combat for too long. We just want to abuse impact damage and keep moving. Mortars continue to try and punish great swords. The Kerber great swords, that is a bit of a whoopsie. I thought those handgunners would still be routing, but they have come back. It's not good for old human boy. There we go. We got them routing again, but once again, now that I've got myself free of those spearmen by downhill charging the enemy, I need to get over here at these archers. You can see their mortars, their mortar crew. Now that we took them off of their mount, they just kind of left. So definitely a whoopsie from the AI, but we'll take advantage of that. Keep moving. Okay, Kerber greatswords are infinitely chasing handgunners. Franz is going to go duel whenever I have Reichland Runefang up. When I don't have Reichland Runefang up, I'm not going to continue trying to duel. Mortar continues to punish the greatswords. I don't have a balance of power because I'm playing on legendary. Wait a second. Am I playing on legendary? Difficulty modifier. Crap! I didn't turn off the personal preference, but I don't like difficulty modifiers giving things stats in campaign. I turned it on legendary campaign and then very hard battle difficulty, but with no stats modifiers. It's just how I like to play. Kerber greatswords having to chase around handgunners is not ideal. I really want them to be fighting infantry, but it is what it is at this point. Franz needs to back off. My Reichsguard Knights gonna recycle charge, and now these one spearman unit can chase those guys. At this point, I'm gonna start falling back with some of my more wounded spearmen so that they make it through the battle. Any of these spearmen that are retreating with 19 and 20 models, if they rally, I'm just gonna let them rally. But there we go. Good charge in. Retreat. Kerber greatsword's still getting killed, but army losses will hit, and that'll be fine. I don't have to chase anything, and I need to end the battle as quickly as possible. Something that a lot of people do for some reason is when you're in a settlement, they can't retreat, and they just like to get a couple extra shots off or something. Friendly fire exists in this game, so I'm just killing my own models needlessly. If there's no reason to chase, then just don't. But I had one, so the point of this wasn't like, wow, you beat the AI one time, cool guide. I couldn't have figured out how to do that. My Reichsguard did a lot. They did a lot that game for trying to get me to win. 172 kills, and they shut down the mortar, they shut down crossbows, and one of the two handgunners, the other one got away from me and came back. They got a rear charge that took half HP off of spearmen. We're trying to rush the Empire Knight building because Empire Knights can do a lot of the same things as Reichsguard, honestly. And it just gives you a lot of agency. Empire infantry isn't going to crush anything. It's mostly defensive. They were just around taking some damage from me. Your archers are okay. Your handgunners are okay. Your mortar is pretty solid. But yeah, those are your real winners. Getting a whole crap ton of state troops isn't really gonna do much for you. Okay. So now Franz, you can go down two routes with him. You can either make him a red tree lord and like buff up the rest of your army, or a yellow tree lord. I infinitely prefer a yellow tree. He already is going to have insane melee attacks, so skip Deadly Blade every single time. Just get full plate armor and Scarred Veteran. The extra melee attack is diminishing returns, just because of how he's going to scale. First thing you got to get is Burning Head. Burning Head's the best spell. Depending on what spellcaster you get, you always want to go with the AoE punishment spells early on for the Empire. Now, Ubersreich has that tier 1 barracks, and Altdorf has better slots I need. So I'm going to get rid of the barracks in the capital. You want to save all your growth for Altdorf in the early game. Get at least to tier 3 or tier 4 before upgrading anything else. Also partially because, depending on what campaign you're playing again, let's see, I have 3 archers, 5 handguns, and some spears. Just get a couple more spears, it's fine. Anyway, considering who you're going to fight, if you go north, it's pretty likely that Skarsnik or, honestly, Durthu betrays you, or Heinrich Kemmler betrays you, and they're going to take one of these 2 settlements first. So just upgrade Altdorf so that your capital is fine until your army comes back from whether you're up here or down here. Technologies I haven't talked about, it is just different based on how you want to play. I prioritize early growth and stuff. Generally, all of them are fine. Leadership for infantry is okay, but I don't know. I tend to go heavy on cavalry. Vigor loss and speed is okay. Melee attack and ITP is okay. The charge bonus is usually the one I want to rush, so get that. Alright, our cab building is done in 2 turns. See you then. I said see you then when I had a cavalry building, but I forgot I'm just going to take this out in the next turn, so you can go down here. Usually auto-resolve it, don't have to fight it. Decisive victory. Oh no, I lose a spearman. Oh gosh, malarkey. Yep, don't care. Occupy. Secessionists are dead. And you now have Reichland. Congrats. Franz gets another upgrade. We'll go more Scar Veteran. Battle Wizard! More Burning Head. I usually like to get 2 or 3 ranks in Burning Head before I bother with Kindle Flame. For your 3rd building in Altdorf, if you really want a clergyman, you can get a clergyman. If you really want Pistoliers as well as Empire Knights, you can get Pistoliers as well as Empire Knights. That's okay. I tend to go down to the Growth building. I just really want to get to Altdorf Tier 3. Because then there are the buildings you really want. When you get to Altdorf Tier 3, you can get your School of Mages, which you need badly. And then also your Reichsguard, Castle Reichsguard Stables. I didn't get Reichsguard just by getting the Tier 2 here. But the Reichsguard Stables is nice, especially for Franz's campaign, because you get recruitment cost reduction, rank 1 faction-wide, and then he already gets... Oh, it has to be on Franz's page. Got it.
Bring me to my men.
5 more weapon strengths for all electric troops. Where's the Reichsguard? Plus 2 recruit rank for Empire Knights. I thought he had Reichsguard stuff. Wow, lame. Alright, screw that then. It's still nice. I like Reichsguard over Empire Knights. Either way. I have 3 recruitment slots left, but I'm gonna wait 1 turn until I can get my Empire Knights. It's fine for me. Okay, stables are done. We can get Empire Knights. Franz really wants them. He gets some buffs for Empire Knights, so we'll grab 2 Empire Knights and a mortar. I have a 4th recruitment slot, and it is pretty important, so we can cut a spearman. Grab all of our spearmen, get them to combine, and then take the wounded one and boot him. 2 mortars is going to be fine overall in case I get into a siege or something. War wagons are okay, but I feel like I just want more Empire Knights right now. So I'll have 3 Empire Knights and a Reichsguard. I'll wait until Franz gets his mount. Oh, I already have my warhorse. Nice. Dank. All right, we're ready to go. Altdorf is ready to increase to a tier 3 city.
Yes.
We're ready to go. If you really want to go west, you can go west from here. You can go conquer Marienburg if you want their port. You can go north and try and help out Middenheim with their various issues. You can see Festus is already expanding out. And I imagine Kasric One Eye is up there causing trouble. Or you can go south, where already we've lost Stirland to the vampires. So, this is a solid start for the Empire. No need to cheese, nothing crazy like that. You're just ready to go in any direction you want to. You can get another lord soon. At this point, I will just play it forward until we can find a battle, and I'll go through one more battle now that you have more cavalry, but otherwise we'll call it a day. Kasric and Festus are up here. I'm shocked. Alright, this was going to be a decisive victory, but I don't really want to march around until I get a close fight, so we'll just do it and talk to you anyway. Now again, as we mentioned before, this time we just have a little bit bigger of an army, but we don't want to spread out too much, otherwise our ranged units are going to have difficulties seeing things. So I'll go 5 spearmen wide and then have spearmen and the Kerberg greatswords on the back. I suppose versus beastmen, they don't have as good of range, so I'll put the Kerberg in the center, hold the center. Now again, we want handgunners pretty far back from the front line because they can't see past it, so that doesn't really matter. What they're going to shoot at is either going to be taller than your guys, or it's going to be going through your guys like a chariot. And for example, his army has Minotaurs and 2 chariots. But if I put them here, you'll be like, well, they can still shoot the stuff that's taller than them. Yes, but once the chariot gets through these guys, it's already pretty much in melee combat with your guys, and then you can't shoot anything. So we do want a little bit more space, just so we can see them for an abundance of time. Put archers out of the line of sight of the handgunners. The handgunners don't get completely blocked by that. And then we'll put our archers on some more of the flanks. Moving up these guys. The archers can fire up and over into the infantry easily enough. Then we'll have 2 mortars. Put them next to each other in the center of the formation. They'll shoot, they'll be fine. And now we have 4 Empire Knights, with Karl Franz buffing up one of them. Karl Franz's Reichland Runefang is quite nice for cavalry that normally have pretty low melee stats. So we will have Franz paired with an Empire Knight. The Reichsguard don't need his help as much. They can function more independently. But Franz's Reichland Runefang can actually turn Empire Knights from blockers into good fighters. So, here's what we're going to do. We have 2 Empire Knights on the outsides to deal with dogs. Hooray. We have the Reichsguard and Franz's Empire Knights in the center to deal with Kazric, or the Minotaurs will hunt them down. I hit start just because, I don't know, I got lazy. Oh, he has a caster, a Spear Lich caster. Good for you. Let's do left-hand cavalry here. Right-hand cavalry in this control group. Everything else can be together. Don't care. Mortars, shoot at whatever makes you happy. Let's shoot the Bestigors. They're armored at least. Makes it a little more worth my time to shoot them. Okay, we have 3 dogs and a chariot on the high ground. I am going to dedicate my Reichsguard up there just because the chariot is a little armor-piercing and can be kind of a nuisance. Franz and the Empire Knights are ready for Kazric. We're going to stay behind the handgunners until they need us. And this Empire Knight is entirely here to make sure nothing flanks me I wasn't aware of. Cavalry charging dogs gets really good impact damage. Dogs hate fighting cavalry. So I want to engage as many as possible. The Razorgore chariots can deal with my Reichsguard. They're also not the best at fighting against the large targets. Handgunners switch on to the Minotaurs. Other handgunners also switch on to the Minotaurs until Kazric becomes visible. Oh, Kazric's on foot, you poor little guy. Kind of expected more out of you, Kazric. Let's watch the Minotaurs get slain. So we overcast a Burning Head up the line. Don't want to really use it on the Bestigors because they have too much armor for that nonsense. The Minotaurs should be taking a lot of damage. Kind of holding off with Franz until about now. So I want to go snipe Kazric. Handgunners wrecked all the Minotaurs, so that's pretty fine. We're killing these guys on the high ground. There's no dogs on that top side yet, so my formation is still pretty safe. We are starting to lose some guys, so I'm going to send Empire Knights to go deal with this. Franz can go snipe out Kazric all alone. And the handgunners are going to need to turn and start firing at some of these troops if possible. But the Beastmen are getting through our front line. It's pretty typical of them. And now I need these Empire Knights to be pulled up as reserves. Empire Knights can fall back. And Karl Franz with his Reichland Runefang can help out the Karlberg Greatswords a bit. Looks like I might lose them, but I can't pull back at this point. They're getting Spirit Leech too. So yeah, we're just going to lose the Karlberg Greatswords. You're not out of Winds of Magic, so that's fine. Man, this Razorgore Chariot refuses to rout. Okay, we've almost sniped out Kazric, which is pretty crucial to do against Beastmen. Lowering their leadership is most of the battle. Now we're getting some guys to rout. Let's get everybody to shoot at Bestigor herds, except for our handgunners can fire at the Death Wizard. Almost got Kazric. He's so close to dead. Karlberg Greatswords, 10 models left. I'm going to see if we can retreat with them. We'll see, as my Empire Knights have now gotten free. We can go into the back line and shut down those archers once and for all. One of our other Empire Knights routed, but 10 Karlberg Greatswords should be enough to stay alive. Okay, Reichsguard Knights finally got done with that. My Empire Knights need to keep recharging this stuff. Army losses is hitting the Beastmen. And you didn't see that, but I already got these guys to retreat, so I don't have to chase them. I will just back off. So that's how you should handle an Empire army. If you worry about your Karlberg Greatswords, you could put them in the secondary. As we saw, the first battle I put them in the secondary because I was worried about them getting shot, and then I charged them in a little later. This battle I put them in the front line. You can just see how much damage they take. I mean, all my front line took a lot of damage, but the Karlberg Greatswords, sometimes it's better to just keep them in the back as a reserve. Handgunners need to target large targets like the Minotaurs. Minotaurs didn't get much done, then they got instantly killed. I thought Kazric was also on a chariot. When he wasn't, I had to charge Franz in to kill him because my handgunners couldn't have seen him. So that's a little unfortunate. But you did kind of see, again, what I'm talking about with the handgunners, where in the early game, when there's not a lot of large targets, they insta-killed the Minotaur, and then we're like, okay, I guess we'll take some pot shots at Bestigors occasionally, but we can't really see them, so just, I mean, keep them alive. They're useful in the late game, and if you have to buy them again, you have to buy them again. But it is a little more important to just get archers in the early game and get Empire Knights. It'll still do a lot of work for you, clear out a lot of things. Keep your back lines safe. Stuff like that. 1,000 gold's a lot. We can take that money. And Kazric died. And we saved Midland. Kazric already... Yeah, I know. Kazric already wiped out Boris Todbringer at Weissmund and burned the city to the ground once. Garrison details, you can see they're all almost dead. It's not ideal. Festus is not at war with Mindheim yet, but he has taken a couple things. I'm going to sweep through and clean them up. That's what happens if you pick the war in the north. If you want to pick the war in the south, you can just build some fortifications at Eihart and Altdorf and then go south and go fight the vampires. It's also fine. One thing I would recommend is making good friends with Nuln as soon as possible. You can use electoral machinations and spend some of these to be friends with Elspeth. Because the worst thing that can happen to you, Wissenland has a legendary lord, so they're usually going to stay pretty solid. It's very rare that I see them get wiped out by AI before turn like 35. But you can piss them off enough that they declare war on you. It's rare, but it literally just ends your campaign. It's brutal, because even if you win that war, the two Empire factions in the Empire that are supposed to survive fighting each other weakens you so much, you just like auto lose the campaign. So yeah, become friends with her, trade with her if you can and stuff. She's just your only compatriot that means anything. Talbecklin, Stirlin, all of them are going to fall. As we can see, Ogres are getting through some of them. Drycha is getting through some of them. The Empire is generally just in a bad place. So no matter what direction you decide to go, even if you go west, just do whatever Elspeth needs to keep her on your side, because she'll survive, and you just need any Imperial that survives. That's another thing about going west I don't recommend is the Empire mechanic. Just everyone besides Elspeth is going to lose so badly without your help that if you go west and conquer a bunch of Bretonia, you're going to get down here in Imperial authority, and it's just going to be so hard to do anything. So, yeah. Anyway. Hope that helped. If you're having difficulty starting as the Empire, here's a non-cheesy, just good start guide. Get those cavalry early. Get either mortars or pistoliers early.
Summon the Elector
It is what it is. The Empire is one of the rare ones that when you start your second army, there's not a lot of bad options. General the Empire, it's probably the least exciting, but he has some good stuff in his tree that can be helpful. Archlector is very solid. Huntsman General is fun in a different way. I don't think he's that strong, but I think he's fun in a different way. And a Master Engineer is neat. Good for buffing artillery, but when he gets a steam tank mount, he's pretty fun. So it is what it is. I'm going to end this guide here, but just when Altdorf is done completing to tier 3, make sure to get that wizard building, because every army... Hey, listen. Every army should have a wizard. You need a wizard. They're so worth it. Like, not having a wizard is a huge nerf to yourself. Because you have the Winds of Magic whether or not you have a wizard, so it's there. It's just something you can't tap into. And mages with their spells can... do more than any other unit in the entire game. Like, one good Pit of Shades, one spell by a Shadows caster is worth more than 2 great swords. So, yeah, you just need a mage if you're going to intend to win. All right, goodbye. Hopefully this was helpful.
Subscribe, yes.